Hi everyone, welcome back to the Makeup Chair. For today's Monday makeup lesson, I'm talking about dealing with redness. Last week we talked a little bit about priming the skin and getting it ready for makeup. The next step then will be using correctors and concealers. And I talk a little bit about dealing with redness in chapter 1 and chapter 2 and kind of throughout the book because I know that it's a big concern for a lot of people. Now I do have a full tutorial on dealing with rosacea which I'll link in the description box, but today I just want to focus on actually covering up the redness before you apply any makeup. So the first thing that I did was actually tint my skin quite heavily with different tints, which you guys can see on my fingertips. I chose a few different shades of red to kind of really get that kind of rosacea feel to my skin because I don't actually suffer from rosacea myself. And then I've prepped and primed my skin over the top, so that tint is definitely locked on there. Next I'm going to take my favorite palette. I love this palette, which is the BlankCanvasCosmetics Concealer and Corrector palette. It's basically got the best yellow that I have ever used, but there's tons of different drugstore options, so if you can't get this palette, you do have other options. Just choose a yellow corrector. So make sure it's pure yellow, that it doesn't have certain tones in it. It's not a concealer with a bit of yellow in it. Make sure it's purely yellow. There's also a green in this palette which can be used for counteract redness. I just find that yellow has a brightening effect as well as counteracting redness on the skin, and for most people it'll be a better option, especially if you're more on the warm and neutral side. So I'm going to apply this beautiful creamy yellow onto the areas that I have the redness. Make sure that you're only applying it where it's needed, because if you apply this all over your face, it's not going to do as much of a good job. You really want to focus it on just the areas that you need to. I have redness underneath my eyes, completely covering my cheek, and also on a few blemishes, and for most women we actually have it around our noses for hormonal reasons. You can use a concealer brush, your fingers, or a damp sponge. I find your fingers is great because it melts the product onto the skin and you can really press it on there. You can see the difference this corrector makes. This is just with that yellow corrector. It's not with any concealer or any foundation, and it is seriously evened out my skin tone just by taking away that redness for me. At this stage, I probably don't even need to apply foundation. Only if I want the extra coverage, I could actually just go ahead and use a translucent powder over the top. Or if you want to really take away the redness, you can try using a yellow powder. These can actually be used on bare skin, so just moisturize your skin, allow the moisturizer to sink in like we talked about last week, and then apply your powder. This is a great option to reduce redness while evening out your skin, and it doesn't feel like anything. It just feels very lightweight and very sheer. I would definitely recommend investing in this if you find that your foundation tends to oxidize, which somebody asked me last week. This brings back that neutral tone. I focus on the center of the forehead, the chin, the nose, a little bit above the lip, and a little bit on the jawline and the side of the face, but I tend not to do it across here because I've got that blush on anyway, so it's totally fine. But this just works to really bring back that neutral tone in my foundation and to kind of erase that pink tone. Next week we're going to be talking about how to deal with under eye circles and the best products to choose for your skin tone. I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Please leave a comment of anything else that you'd like to conceal and correct, and I'll try and cover those for next week, and I will see you guys on Wednesday before then, so I'll talk to you then. Bye.